When the zombie apocalypse breaks out, it can cause so many problems, like becoming the undead and having a hunger for human flesh. That's why I use herbs. With herbs, I can walk worry-free through those pesky infected. I can instantly heal myself with their wonderful medicinal properties. There's truly nothing like herbs.
Warning, side effects of herbs include prolonged survival while being surrounded by hordes of the undead. Do not take if zombification has already occurred. Can be combined with other herbs.
For more information or to order your own herbs, call 1-800-555-HERB. That's 1-800-555-4372. Call now. When I was a kid, my biggest fear was zombies. There was a cemetery not too far from my house, and we even lived in the middle of nowhere. Now that I'm a bit older, that fear has subsided, but I still get terrified by games in the Resident Evil series. I love them though. The remakes have all been absolutely phenomenal. One thing I love about these games is what they can teach us about medicinal herbs. In the Resident Evil series, your main healing items are called herbs. There are green herbs which heal a bit of health, blue herbs which cure poison, red herbs which buff the other two, and yellow herbs which increase the player's maximum health. They're all native to the Ark Clay Mountains, the region of the United States where Raccoon City is located, with the exception of yellow herbs. These herbs have real-life counterparts too. Green herb is matcha, a type of green tea that I cannot stand the smell or taste of. Red herb is hibiscus, specifically the roselle hibiscus, which is actually really delicious when candied. Yellow herb is turmeric, a spice in the ginger family, Zingiberaceae. And finally, blue herb is based on aronia, also known as the chokeberry bush. These guys have an interesting flavor. They have this weird effect that when you eat one, it kind of dries your mouth out. This is due to chemicals called tannins. If you're really curious as to what this feels like, then drink really dry wine. If you're of age, of course. Believe it or not, healing from plants isn't too strange. We as humans have been using plants as medicine as far back as 60,000 years ago in the Paleolithic era. They were found in ancient burial sites in Iraq. The Sumerians used clay tablets to write down their herbs, and the ancient Egyptians had them written on papyrus scrolls, along with the ailments they cured. In India, sometime in the 6th century BC, Sushruta wrote the Sushruta Samhita. This is one of two ancient texts about medicine from this area and this time. It has 700 medicinal plants listed and tells how to identify them, what they treat, what their risks are, their dosage, and even their taste. He promotes the idea of prevention, that they should be keeping the body healthy and clean to ward off diseases. China has been famous for its herbalism since the Bronze Age. One of the main pillars of traditional Chinese medicine is the 5 elements. They associated different parts of the body with different elements and seasons. For example, wood and spring represent the liver, the gallbladder, and the eyes. Fire and summer represent the heart, small intestine, and tongue. Earth and late summer represent the pancreas, stomach, and mouth. Metal and fall represent the lungs, large intestine, and nose. And finally, water and winter represent the kidney, bladder, and ears. And if this is starting to sound like Avatar: The Last Airbender, well, they took most of their inspiration from East Asian cultures. Hippocrates is known as the father of Western medicine. He had a practical approach, and often didn't rely on rites, prayers, and chants to make his remedies work. A famous Roman herbalist was Pliny the Elder. He wrote one of the first encyclopedic texts, Naturalis Historia, Natural History. He had over 900 medicinal drugs and plants listed. This text is divided into 37 books, which are then organized into 10 volumes. It doesn't just cover medicinal herbs, it also covers many other natural topics such as astronomy, zoology, and mineralogy. The Middle Ages saw the translation of many ancient works. They used common wild herbs such as elderberries, rosehips, calendula, yarrow, nettle, and so many more. The monasteries were the medical care centers, where the monks had transcribed many texts. In the 1700s, most Americans practiced herbalism. Because physicians were rare, they relied on almanacs and other books written by men like John Bartram. Bartram was an American botanist and horticulturalist. He even founded the first botanical garden in the United States. He also worked closely with Carl Linnaeus, the inventor of binomial nomenclature. Modern herbalism hasn't changed too much. Many of the herbs used in the Middle Ages are still used today. Chamomile is used to relax and help with anxiety and inflammation. Echinacea is used to treat colds and flus. Garlic, while mostly used in cooking, is also used to lower cholesterol and blood pressure. Ginger is fantastic at easing nausea and motion sickness, and ginkgo leaves work to improve memory and prevent dementia. This has been studied extensively to try to figure out why, too. Now, this is normally the part where I ruin what I'm talking about. And I'm not about to stop now. The Food and Drug Administration doesn't consider herbal supplements as medicine. Instead, it classifies them as food. This may not sound like it matters, but let me assure you it does. They're not subject to clinical trials or manufacturing standards as compared to over-the-counter medicines. I hope you're ready for me to ruin it even more! In 2015, New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman had the DNA of dietary supplements from 4 major retailers tested to see if they matched the labels. You aren't gonna like the results, I promise. You may be mad even. I know I was when I found out. GNC had 120 DNA tests done on 24 bottles of supplements. The DNA matched 22% of the time. The rest were full of contaminants like rice, asparagus, and alfalfa. And even then, some did test positive for the right product, while others of the same kind didn't. Target had 90 DNA tests done on 18 bottles, and it matched 41% of the time. Better than GNC, I guess, but still not great. The rest were contaminated with more asparagus, wild carrots, and many other things. Walgreens had another 90 tests done on another 18 bottles. Maybe there's hope for this one. Walgreens is a pharmacy after all. Well, they matched 18% of the time. They had rice, wheat, and Dracaena, which is a toxic houseplant. Last and also least, Walmart. Oh boy, 90 DNA tests, 18 bottles. What were the results? 4. They had 4% of bottles that matched their labels. No, not 40, 4. Instead, they had pine, grass, and more Dracaena. In case you weren't angry enough, the University of Guelph in Ontario, Canada did their own little study in 2013. They tested some St. John's wort products and found that they contained Senna alexandrina, which is a plant that acts as a laxative. Ginkgo supplements actually had black walnuts, which, many people are allergic to. And believe me, if you're thinking, the FDA should do something, yeah, me too. In the United States, they don't have the authority to approve supplements before they're put on the market. Heck, they don't even know what's on the market. They can't prove that the supplement effect claims are even real, or even that it's safe for human consumption. The dietary supplement industry is worth $152 billion US. If you learned anything from this section, I hope it's that supplement manufacturers are full of it. Just like the Umbrella Corporation. The only difference is, at least what Umbrella was doing was illegal. Now, let me try to restore some hope for you. Not through supplements though, no. I already said my piece on them. What I'm going to talk about now will hopefully blow your mind. If you want to see plants really work, look no further than these little friends of mine. Acetylsalicylic acid is a common drug used to treat inflammation, pain, and fever. It's also used to prevent heart attacks, strokes, and blood clots. This guy started from the Salix genus, commonly known as willow trees. They've been used as a medicinal herb since ancient Assyria. Fast forward to the 1800s. Chemist Charles Frederick Gerhardt used salicin, a chemical found in the bark and leaves of the willow, as a salt that he combined with acetyl chloride. This produced acetylsalicylic acid. This acid would then be known as aspirin. If you're anything like me, then you probably just took one after learning more about dietary supplements. Plenty of plants have been used in similar manners. Catharanthus roseus, the Madagascar periwinkle, is one of my favorite summer flowers. It looks so pretty and blooms well in our super dry and hot summers. It also happens to contain vinblastine, a chemotherapy medication. This little flower fights cancer. Morphine is a super strong painkiller that's prescribed after major surgeries or broken bones. It comes from Papaver somniferum, commonly known as breadseed poppies. Yeah, the same kind that gives us poppy seeds that we eat. This is why poppy seeds can give a false positive for opiates if you eat them before taking a drug test. It's the natural source for it. If you want to improve cognitive function, you can just take some galantamine from Galanthus nivalis, the common snowdrop. Basically, it allows the brain to use more of a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine by shutting down an enzyme called acetylcholinesterase, which is a really fun word to say. This allows the brain to improve memory processing, reasoning, and thinking. This is shown to slow the effects of Alzheimer's disease. So, the herbs in Resident Evil don't seem super crazy now, do they? Around 25% of commonly used medicines contain compounds from plants. Green herbs, red herbs, blue herbs, and yellow herbs all seem fairly normal. Green herbs are able to stave off the T virus, the thing that turns people into zombies, so they have some antiviral properties, just like Sambucus nigra, elderberries. Red herbs boost the immune system, just like, well, elderberries again. Antidotes being blue is most likely a reference to, methylthioninium chloride, or methylene blue, which is used to cure cyanide poisoning. Yellow herbs increase maximum health. Them being yellow could possibly be a reference to it potentially having high vitamin C, which is used by the body for growth and repair of tissues. Plants have been used as medicine for thousands of years, and in our modern world, that's truer than ever. Raccoon City is lucky to have their herbs, just like we're lucky to have ours. If my greatest fears come true and the zombie apocalypse does happen, maybe we'll have our own miracle herb to keep us healthy. Thanks for watching. This was definitely a much needed lighter topic. I wanted to avoid the eugenics in the Resident Evil universe, as we had plenty of that in the Fallout video. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Oh, and be sure to leave a comment telling me which game or topic you'd like to see covered in the future. Also, I just enjoy hearing from you guys. The support from you all has been incredible. Thank you, and see you later.